Hello, it's Amanda, and I wanted to come to you briefly on the topic of man's rejection allows time for God's perfecting. My live videos are not saving for one reason or another, so I wanted to upload this video with my network. It was so good that I recorded for Facebook a few minutes ago here. Be encouraged, my friend. There is safety in the multitude of counselors. He also tells us in Habakkuk, you can write out the vision to make it plain. Now, we don't wheel people, but you must have some type of... Hello, it's Amanda, and I want to come to you briefly on a topic, and that topic I'm going to briefly share with you to encourage you, not to counsel you, is man's rejection allows time for God's perfecting. Now, he tells us, let the redeemed of the Lord say so, whom he have redeemed from the hand of the enemy. Even as others are preparing to assemble all over the world here, we're praying globally for peace here. We're aware of many of the situations that are transpiring here, and God promises us that he has given his angels charge over us to keep us in all of our ways in the midst of bloodshed and war here. We are aware that we serve a God who tells us whatever that weapon is formed, it shall not prosper. But I wanted to take a few minutes to deal specifically and individually here with the core of rejection from man here. Rejection from man is not particularly a rejection from God here. It allows time for God to perfect the things that concern you. He actually tells us in his word, who shall lay anything to the charge of God's elected is God that justifieth. Man can accuse day and night, but the reality is God is the one that's aware of every hair on your head, every variable, every factor, from the moment of conception to the present moment, faithful to the 1,000th generation. He admonishes us that he will cause all things to work together for our good. So let me wrap this up a little bit here. We take the time to pray for our including, but not limited to, spiritual covering and leadership, ministers of music, civil workers, those assisting here, strengthen and keep them, their cabinets, their staff, their families, even as they travel. We pray safe travels. We add our prayers to those who are praying. We're aware that God is a God that tells us whatsoever good any man doeth, the same shall they receive of the Lord. So regardless of what others may think of you, it's very important to stand in the hedge of prayer as an intercessor. You can be the intercessor of your village, of your country, of your city, of your school, of your place of employment here. God is a God that is calling us to a place to pray for others here. God is a God that's not mocked here. He's bringing about supernatural restoration of the years the cankerworm and the locust have consumed. We must become ever aware and mindful that God is our source and not man here. What shall we say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? So you didn't get the ring that you thought you should get by now, the man, the woman, the job here. Realize that God is calling us to a place of prudence here, even as he is preparing us for that which he's taken us for. 2, he can see things and anticipate things that we may not be aware of. There is safety in the multitude of counselors. He also tells us in Habakkuk, you can write out the vision to make it plain. Now, we don't wheel people, but you must have some type of direction that you're gearing towards. Many companies and individuals have mission statements. They write out a vision here so they know exactly what their objectives are here. And God is a God that will run with that so that he that reads it can run with it. Though it tarry, wait for it. In the end, it shall speak and not lie here. So ask God to redirect the course of your rudder here, and he will. Man's rejection is time for God's perfecting here. God is going to perfect you. Your enemies are not going to see you in that low place that you were in before here. The Lord will prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies here. And realize that this is not an arrogant type of thing. He tells us to cast not away our confidence. We must watch as well as pray. We don't want to become victims of predatory hunting here of these demonic powers and principalities looking for something to scapegoat and lamb off. No, God is a God here that's going to perfect that which concerneth you. And he tells us the secret of the Lord is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant. So your enemy should not have close tabs to what you're doing, micromanaging. Matter of fact, we take this time to pray. We bind up the micromanagement of demonic agents sent to buffet our spirit who want to sabotage our success. God is a God that is committed to us winning in life here. Well, prayerfully, this was able to encourage you in the midst of seeing all of these heartaches and pains around the world. We're standing in faith and believing that God heard us the first day we prayed here, and that he's getting it in the realms of his jurisdiction, that he be glorified. Victory is on the other side here. Well, until next time, I'm looking forward to hearing your testimony. May the Lord add a blessing to the sharing of his word. God is going to promote you for as long as the earth remaineth. There shall be seed time and harvest.